Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Arden of Faversham, and we get to hear from Michael Bolton today in Act 2, Scene 2, which some versions just call Act 1, Scene 3 because they pretend that the entire play is one act. But we'll call it Act 2, Scene 2 because that breaks things up nicer. And Act 1, Scene 1 was like a play unto itself. And the important things that came out of that, Arden was almost killed by his wife, but wasn't actually killed by his wife. His wife Alice and her lover Mosby are in the market for a hitman to take out Arden while he's in London, and she happened upon Mr. Green, Dick Green, who used to own some of the lands which have now all been given to Arden, and he was very upset about that. So she painted Arden as an abuser and a philanderer. So now Green is going to be the liaison with a hitman in London to get rid of Arden. Alice and Mosby can be together. Mosby's sister Susan is going to marry Clark, who is a painter who can paint things that upon looking at them make people die. And he also just randomly carries around poison with him. So that's kind of the important stuff. Act 2, Scene 1, we start out with Bradshaw and Green, who are just, like buddies, and they're hanging out, and they see Will and Shakebag, which is a fantastic name, coming near him, and Bradshaw's like, oh man, like I was in the army with that guy, and he's bad news. Like he'll kill somebody for a pound. And Green is like, a murderer for hire? Because remember, Green is supposed to hire a hitman. So the two of them come over, and Bradshaw's like, I gotta get out of here because I've been accused of stealing something. And Will is just sort of like, hey, I remember you. And what is it? Who was it that stole this thing that then ended up in your shop that you have to answer for? And so Bradshaw gives a bit of a description. Will's like, yeah, I know exactly who that was. It was this guy, and this is where he is. And Bradshaw's like, that's fantastic. I'm going to go get him so I can clear my name. Thanks, everybody. I'm out. And he gives a little bit of money to Will, and then he leaves. And Green is like, before you all run away, how would you feel about killing a man who stole some land from me? This guy Arden took my land, and so I'll give you 20 angels now and 40 angels later if you kill him. And they're like, yeah, sure, we'll go find him. Cool. And that's Act 2, Scene 1. Act 2, Scene 2 starts out with Michael Bolton, and he has learned at this point that Sue, who he's in love with, is supposed to marry Clark, the painter. So he has written her a letter, and he kicks off the scene saying, I have gotten such a letter as will touch the painter. And thus it is. My duty remembered, Mistress Susan, hoping in God you be in good health, as I, Michael, was at the making hereof. This is to certify you, that as the turtle true, when she hath lost her mate, sitteth alone, so I, mourning for your absence, do walk up and down Paul's, till one day I fell asleep and lost my manter's pantofles. Ah, Mistress Susan, abolish that paltry painter, cut him off by the shins with a frowning look of your crabbed countenance, and think upon Michael, who, drunk with the dregs of your favour, will cleave as fast to your love as a plaster of pitch to a galled horseback. Thus hoping you will let my passions penetrate, or rather impenetrate mercy of your meek hands, I end. Yours, Michael. Or else not Michael. So it's a lovely little letter that he sends to her that is he's saying, ditch Clark the painter and come and be with me. And he's trying to be lovely and poetic about it, but it's a little, could maybe use an editor or something along those lines. It's, Michael Bolton, he takes care of the horses. He's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but he is very much in love. So he's written this letter to Susan wanting her to ditch Clark and be with him instead. But little does he know, at the very beginning of him reading this letter out loud to himself, Arden and Franklin enter and they hear him. And Arden's like, what is this that you've written? And he looks it over and he's like, this is stupid that you're after Sue. Like, why haven't you gotten our horses ready? And blah, blah, blah. And how can you be in love with a Mosby? Like, Sue Mosby? What is that all about? So they're making fun of and teasing him. Meanwhile, Green And Will and Shakebag come in and they see all of this happening. And Green is like, that one there, that guy's Arden. That's his friend Franklin, and that's Michael who works for Arden. But that guy there, that one Arden, that's the one that you're supposed to kill, okay? I'm getting out of here. So Green leaves, and Will and Shakebag like go to position themselves so that they'll be able to kill Arden as he walks by. And they're like up against a wall, which happens to have a shop window in it. And the shopkeeper is ready to close up shop, so he goes to close the window, but it knocks Will in the head and knocks him out. I believe the stage direction says that the window breaks Will's head. He doesn't die from it. He just gets knocked out. And as he's getting knocked out, Arden and Franklin start to go this way, and they're like, what's all this hubbub? And they're like, oh, this is a thing that they do so that they can pick your pockets. So the two of them like run away quickly, and Will and Shakebag are left there just like, crap. And Green comes back in. He's like, I just saw Arden going that way. You were supposed to have killed him. What happened? And they're like, well, the window, and he went, and then and bam, and my head really hurts. And Green is like, but you swore an oath that you would kill him. And Will is going to stand up for himself in tomorrow's monologue. So I will see you then for that. Mwah.